Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. This one is on literature review. It is part one of a two-part series. I can't wait for the sequel. Let's start with the first one first to see if you want to see the sequel. What is a literature review? It surveys scholarly sources on a specific topic. It provides an overview of current knowledge. It allows the writer to identify relevant theories, methods, and gaps in the existing research. Sort of again, it gives an overview for something on a specific topic. So that's just basically what it is. Why would you want to write one of these literature reviews? 4 reasons. Among there could be others. It helps you demonstrate a familiarity with a topic and its scholarly context. So it shows that to a reader that you know what you're talking about. Helps develop a theoretical framework and research methodology. That's only can be done by reading across the literature of a particular field. Helps position yourself in relation to other researchers and theorists. By writing yourself and using other researchers and theorists, it helps to show what your perspective on their work is. And it shows how research addresses gaps and contributes to debates. When you write a literature review in a field, you're talking about various issues in that field. Some of them are contentious, and by doing that, you're going to be identifying different issues that are debatable. There are 5 steps in literature review. One is search for relevant literature. 2, evaluate sources. 3, identify themes, debates, and gaps. 4, outline the structure. 5, write your literature review. Today, we're just going to talk about the first 2. All right? Don't want to overburden you. Number 1, search for relevant literature. Before searching literature, you want to clearly define a topic. Otherwise, you'll just be willy-nilly looking through articles without a reason, and you don't want to do that. You'll waste a lot of time. You want to search for literature on your research problem and questions. Once you define your topic, you want to see what your research problem that you're looking for, any research questions you have, and that will help focus your search. Choose a focus and develop a central question to direct your search. Similar to the previous point, by having a question that you're interested in, it will help to not only guide your thoughts, but it'll also guide your research literature review. Depending on your goals, your question may be answerable without collecting original data. You can do more of a theoretical paper that is based on other people's work, and if you do that, you can get all that, your literature done just purely by reading other people's work and incorporating it. When you're doing your actual search itself, when you actually get to the practical part of it, you want to search for various keywords and various citations to help find stuff that you're interested in. As a sort of a starting point, you might want to list the different keywords you're looking for related to your research topic in question, help brainstorm and make sure that you have as many different issues as you want, but also probably more importantly narrow your list of keywords down so it's not too big, because you could just keep searching forever. Here's a list of useful databases to search for journals and articles, such as your university's library catalog, Google Scholar, JSTOR, EBSCO, Project Muse if you're into humanities and social sciences, Medline for those in life sciences, biomedicine, Econ Lit for economics, InSpec for physics, engineering, and computer science. You want to read abstracts that are at the top of the article to see if an article is relevant to your question. By doing that, you can save yourself a lot of time. For articles you find useful, check the bibliography for other sources. A great article usually references other great articles. To identify important publications, note recurring citations. You want to make sure that that the most important publications are referenced by you. Note the various authors, books, or articles that recur in your reading and look into those later on. If you're using Google Scholar, if it has a high citation count, that means the article has been influential and should be included in your literature review. So take note of that. 2, evaluate sources. You will not be able to read everything on a topic. That is nearly impossible, if not completely impossible, so don't do that. From that, evaluate the sources most relevant to your question. So formulate a topic, formulate research questions. Once you know what those are, only read those things that are relevant to those questions. Here's a couple of questions that you can ask yourself for every publication to sort of help see if it's useful or not. 1, what question problem is the author addressing? 2, What are the key concepts and how are they defined? 3. What are the key theories, models, and methods? Does the research use established frameworks or take an innovative approach? 4. What are the results and conclusions of the study? 5. How does publication relate to other literature in the field? Does it confirm, add to, or challenge established knowledge? 6. How does publication contribute to your understanding of the topic? What are its key insights and arguments? And finally, 7. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the research? You might want to write these things down and think about them. Over time, you're eventually going to internalize these thoughts and you'll be able to quickly keep or discard various resources in terms of your evaluation. You want to make sure that the sources you use are credible. The only way to do that is by seeing who the publication is by doing that, that'll help you figure out whether or not it's useful or not. One of the key things I'd really suggest is to find landmark studies, ones that are really key in major theories in your field, and if you do that, that will help you know that something is important. Your lit review's scope depends on your topic and discipline. For example, this contrasts sciences and humanities. Science, because of its cutting-edge nature, it usually only reviews recent literature. In contrast, the humanities often takes a historical perspective to trace how a concept has changed in meaning over time. So, depending on what your topic and discipline is, you will have a different scope. A couple more points. Take notes and cite your sources. If you do that over the course of your evaluation, it'll make your life easier later on. As you read, also begin the writing process. Take notes you can later incorporate into your lit review. By doing that, it should save you time later on. You might want to use an annotated bibliography to save your time in the process. Compile full citation information and write a paragraph of summary and analysis for each source. By doing that, it sort of helps you engage more with the material you're working with, and it'll make your lit review easier to do at the end. Keep track of your sources with citations to avoid plagiarism. This is really important. Don't be citing other people's work without referencing it. That was Literature Review Part 1. We'll be back with another one in a little while. Look forward to seeing you then.